Grits for breakfast. It's man with ham for breakfast. It's scrambled with cheese for breakfast. Get on my knees, say please for breakfast. I've come a long way for breakfast. I'm happy to pay for breakfast. It's such a nice day for breakfast. Gonna change my name to breakfast. Don't make enough time for breakfast. Not supposed to drink wine for breakfast. Better wait in line for breakfast. You better stay away from my breakfast. Gonna use a gift card for breakfast. Gonna try real hard for breakfast. Slaughter hogs in the barn for breakfast. Can't see the big ball of yarn for breakfast. Have a moment to talk about breakfast. Don't think I can live without breakfast. Plant a seed and watch it sprout breakfast. If you hear me, then holler out breakfast. I've come a long way for breakfast. I'm happy to pay for breakfast. It's such a nice day for breakfast. Gonna change my name to breakfast. Don't make enough time for breakfast. Not supposed to drink wine for breakfast. Better wait in line for breakfast.
You better stay away from my breakfast. What's up, guys?
Gonna use a gift card for
Hope you're all doing well. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell if you'd like to be notified when we go live. Please make sure that you are, if you want to be, and you don't want to miss out on other videos that I post that not everybody gets to see, become a member of the Patreon, become a member of the YouTube. There's certain things that happen on Patreon that don't happen on YouTube, and there's certain things that happen on YouTube that don't happen on Patreon for the most part. So do that. If you guys would like to support the stream at all monetarily, there's a top link in the description. I suggest you use that instead of like the other super chats and stuff that YouTube offers, because the link in the description, we get that immediately, and also there is only a 3% cut taken from those tips, and YouTube takes 30, which, like I said, YouTube, take your cut, you know? I appreciate it. But if you do donate in the link in the top of the description, it spawns little trinkets into that little tip jar. I hope that that's. In fact, I'm going to make sure I'm going to recopy the link for that tip jar and paste it back in here just to make sure that everything is fresh with it. I realized that my sub goal, I got a subscriber in the last one, I think, but in the yeah, there we go. Copy, paste. Okay, so yeah, that's new. Yeah, I was having fun over in Thai. I love Thai. Thai is Thai Win, the great and powerful Thai Win. Very good friend of mine. I've known Ty for a long time. We've done a bunch of open mics together, done a bunch of regular shows together. Ty's old school killer, who we love. He just got done streaming. Ty Wynn was very, he had a lot of success on the Fish Tank show. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Fish Tank. But something Mumford Davis loved that show a lot. I never watched it. It was like I think Sam Hyde's thing, and like I don't really have anything against the guy, but I never got it. A lot of people like Sam Hyde. I never got it. Hey Lance York, that's right. Yeah, and I'm realizing that the sub goal isn't connected to my YouTube in any way, so there's no way for me to, like, if we get, honestly, I should just get rid of that because it doesn't make any sense to keep it there. And we'll just take we'll bring the watch count over here. And we'll leave room for 2 digits. Yeah, so there's no use in me having the sub goal even there because it doesn't update when someone subscribes. Hell yeah. But what's up, Jade, Pooter, Jason, Lance? Good to see y'all and everybody else in here. Please make sure to be liking the video when you come in. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I got another day of work tomorrow. There we go. Got another day of work tomorrow, and then I get a Sunday off, and I'm recording the podcast tomorrow night for you guys that will be released now on Tuesday at, I believe, 3 o'clock my time. I believe I'm releasing that at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. So let's hit this GB we got real quick. Hell yeah, BNB. Appreciate you. I don't mind lurkers. I'm a lurker every now and again. I'll be watching shit for a minute and then finally comment. And it's usually I'm watching my friends' stuff. So the second I comment, everybody in the chat will say hello. And it sometimes derails someone's stream. I try to avoid that. But I hope you guys are doing well. And good Lord. Yeah, we're not going to play any games tonight because I don't have enough time to go into it. We're just going to hang out for a little bit and see how it goes. How was you guys' day? How are you guys doing out there? Oh, yeah. We love Rich. Rich rules. Rich came into town and was like, does anybody know of a golf game going tomorrow that I could jump on? Like, You know, a threesome that needs a fourth guy. And my roommate plays golf. What's up, Beer? Good to see you, brother. My roommate plays golf. So I was like, yeah, my roommate is looking for a fourth in there for their foursome tomorrow. And I hooked my roommate up with Rich Voss. So they went and played golf, and my roommate was he's a big, he likes all the podcasts and stuff like that. So he was in the car with Rich, and Bobby Kelly called him, and Bobby, they were talking to Bobby on speakerphone, and it was a big deal to him. So it was cool that nice thing to facilitate. I was happy I could do that. Trying to make the zip work on Wendy Band today. I hear you. I'm honestly surprised we're not doing a virtual red band tonight. I assumed we'd be on like ultra high alert for a virtual red band tonight, but I assume the reason we didn't is because we got a surprise episode of Kill Tony. Once I saw the surprise episode of Kill Tony was happening, I thought, oh, he'll definitely go live after this to talk about it. Did you guys watch that? Did you guys watch night 1 of MSG? I'm sure most of us had already seen it because of the we got in the live stream, but that was a hell yeah, I hear that, Lance. Dude, it was both of those episodes are so good. I actually I watched most of night 2, night before last, and then I watched the rest of it last night. And I was watching this podcast with a Dom Herrera podcast with Brian Holtzman from way back, and it was just really cool. Holtzman kind of calling his shot way back then, was like, maybe one day I'll I won't have to go catch the dog, because he was a dog catcher. That was his job for a long time. And he was like, maybe one day won't have to go catch dogs in Manhattan Beach, and I'll be able to be available for every time somebody wants to book me or whatever. If anybody wants to take a chance. Because they were talking about Holtzman being hard to book because of the content of his material back, and that was 12 years ago. 14 years ago, 2012 that was. The Legends Bucket was incredible. That was such a cool idea. Live at the Laugh Factory, that's right. That's right, Jason. That was a good podcast. There were a lot of people that were on that podcast live from the Laugh Factory with Dom Herrera. Dom was something else. And I believe Dom, if I'm not mistaken, is the all-time leading guest member on Kill Tony. I think Dom Herrera has been a guest more times than anyone else. Maybe Doug Benson. Doug Benson might be a close second. But in the early days of Kill Tony, Dom Herrera was a regular guest, man. He was a reoccurring guest a lot. Honestly, Doug might be right there with Dom. They could be even tied. But I don't know. I feel like Dom's got a couple more episodes than him at least. Great podcast with Holtzman, and Holtzman was saying that hey, I've never done one of these. I've not seen Holtzman on Jamie Kennedy, but I need to do a deep dive. Oh, Beer, I know the guy in real life, and I can confirm he doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck on stage. Now, when he's not on stage, he's a comic, so he's obviously going to be like doubting things or whatever like that. But when he's on stage, all of that is just gone. Oh, watch out, Sean. We don't have smell-o-vision yet. Are you telling on yourself? Guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, please. Hang around. To sit down. It was a really good album, that Marcy Playground album. Poppies. I need to dust off this dust off my vibrator. My shoulder is screaming at me right now, so I gotta, oh boy. Oh boy. How many of you guys that's knocking shit loose in my lungs from the back. I can feel it. How many of y'all are in the vibrator game? How many of you guys have these how many of you guys got your little vibrator that you hey, how many of y'all got one of these that you mess around with? Ooh. These things help out so much, man. Like you would not believe. Hey. You would not believe how much these things help out, dude. Just working out this mess that they say you carry stress on your shoulders. And boy, have I been stressed lately. But I'm not now, and that's a good thing. And I need to, I'm going to address that in my podcast tomorrow. And when I record tomorrow night, yeah, this is an old dusty vibrator for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna go all over all of that when I record the podcast tomorrow, and you guys will be able to hear all about it on Tuesday. If I get it edited in time on Sunday, and I can get it out, I might drop it early for the YouTube members. But honestly, for the reasons that we discussed last night in last night's stream, I'm probably just gonna wait until Tuesday to drop the whole thing. But I got to get audio out. I'm gonna get audio out on Monday. Monday at 7 a.m. audio is going to be dropped. By the way, there's a handful of us in here. First off, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. But second off, please, guys, do me a favor and open up your Spotify apps on your mobile devices or your web or your web browser. Your web browser. Go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and please download and subscribe Yonder Talks. One word, all lowercase, Yonder Talks. And please do that on Spotify and on, oh my Lord, this is incredible, guys. Holy smokes. You know when you hit a spot in the back where it's like, oh man, I've been trying to crack my back for like 3 days to make this thing feel better, and man, holy mackerel. But yes, on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify and everywhere else. Episode 2 is out now. Episode 2 out now. Episode 1 and 2. Right on the spine there, man. Oh, yeah. You definitely get a Charlie horse out. And there was this lady back home that I took a shine to, and she was my chiropractor. And boy, she used to get me with this massage gun, man. And I'm here to tell you, your boy was about to fall in love. Your boy was about to fall in love with old girl. She brought that massage gun out, and then, oh man, she also had the shock shock therapy, like where they would put the little things on your muscles, and it would just send electricity through your muscle. We also did a lot of that, which, man, that if you never had that done, well, let me tell you, boy, that sure is the way. That sure is the way. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, you got to get these things. But yes, if you guys wouldn't mind just reviewing maybe the podcast. Is that what it's called? TENS device? Yeah, this is a commercial for vibrators. What do you mean? Sometimes you got to put a vibrator on your neck. Ugh. Can you guys hear it when it comes out weird? Like my voice being weird? Went a little too high on the neck on that. Oh boy. Now this thing is just shaking my skull. This is Well, I'm like a dude in the 40s that just saw like some ankle. Ooga. The electric impulse device, yeah. Yeah, those things are incredible, man. It works wonders, dude, because like it's just shooting electricity literally through your muscles. But I carry all of that. Have I been working out? Hell no, I don't be working out. You kidding me? I just live my life as a full-grown man. Ah, boy, I can just feel the tension leaving. I can feel it. Oh, I ain't getting no haircut. Darling, won't you go and cut your hair? By the way, I forgot to mention that the $1.99 and above super chats is instant TTS, but since we're all like chatting today, not that that's necessary, I'm just giving you guys the option. Ooh, that burns. Now that burns. The chest, good Lord, that burns a bit. Yikes. 10,000 steps a day. Holy smokes. Hey, we received 100 messages. Good job chatting, folks. Keep up the good work. We might break a 200 shortly. We've gotten 100 in the first 25 minutes. Holler. Do I ever take 2 laps around HEB for fun? I used to get done with a gig back in the day, and I'd go to Walmart. Okay, this is where some tension is right here. Ooh. Yowzer. That's starting to get, that's, you know that thin line between pleasure and pain? Oh, we found it. So yeah, boy, if I release this, if I released this on audio and you couldn't see what was going on, it was just audio of that. Good Lord, there might be people that would pay good money for that. Yowzer. Over on the side there under the arm. Yo. Anyway. What's up, Emo? Welcome to you. Yo. Hell yeah, Sean. It'll take a second for this thing to click on, but it'll say your super chat. I don't have any thoughts on Burning Man, but I've heard that it's a thing. Hell yeah, name. Wait, does it usually take this long for the notification to come around for the thing? Oh, there it is. There it is.
You read the bees herpes, yonder whiz.
Hey, there it went. And the ticker, by the way, the ticker at the bottom and the tip jar is because YouTube allows the super chat to come through in the chat. Because there's no representation for the super chats that come in through the for the super chats that come through the link at the top of the thing. Link in the top of the description. That's what the ticker at the bottom is for. The ticker at the oh, we got something in there. Whoa, something's in there. Whoa. You see, there's something in the tip jar. You see it? You see it? Do you see? Do you see, guys? How about that? So I guess it does count regular. I guess it does count YouTube tips as well. That's awesome. So yeah, with YouTube Super Chat. That's awesome. It's just little things in the tip jar. Wonder if we can fill that thing up today. Just the tip. All right. Speaking of just the tip, let's put this vibrator down. Boy, I feel rejuvenated. Emphasis on the Jew. Got him. Jupiter. You got it. I got that's so cool that there's a little tip jar. I was always like, I was wondering how that would work because some of these things just haven't worked that great. The plugins, like I don't think that the like the sub goal and the subscriber count. By the way, guys, please make sure to be subscribed to the channel. I know I say it a lot and maybe to ad nauseum, but I'm sorry for that. But it really does help if you do that, and it makes me feel very nice. Is that a Cuba Libre? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Dude, I need a virtual Frankie. Bro, Frankie is right over here chilling, dude. You wanna meet Frankie? Have y'all ever met Frankie? Frankie has made more money for cornbread than Frankie's made more money for cornbread than like pretty much the rest of the band ever got to make. Like Frankie is the most frugal member of Cornbread. Like he brought in the most money. Emo, let me tell you a little secret, and this might help. It might not, but I'm gonna tell you a little secret. We always gonna be stressed, but let me tell you that your life isn't your stress. Your life is how you react to your stress. That's your life, not the stress itself. Sometimes that stress will lie to you and say, "Hey, I'm in charge. I'm the life. I'm the life, and you're just a conduit for me to live the life." Stress is nothing but a parasite. A parasite. Have you seen the videos of those the worms that'll get inside the frog's brain, and it'll just cause the frog to just like jerk its head back and forth and like do weird things? That's what stress is. Stress is the parasite that gets inside of our brains and tries to control us and tries to manipulate us into thinking that it's in charge, but it's not. We are in charge. No matter how damaged or broken our brains are, and trust me, I know I have a note episode 1 of my podcast, but our brains are the most powerful thing that we have in our possession, without a doubt. Your stress is not who you are. How you react to your stress is who you are. That's the thing. Sorry, Blue Velvet. I don't mean to interrupt while you're just trying to eat your PB&J. Oh yeah, Frankie. Here, let's introduce y'all to Frankie. Hold on. Almost fell. Watch out, Frankie. So Frankie is here's Frankie. Say hey to everybody, Frankie. Everybody say hey, Frankie. So Frankie here hung off of the end of my mic stand. You see these little, we loop them together and he hangs off of the end of my mic stand. Frankie was my tip jar for literal years. I was like, is there money in here? No. But there was money in here. And then somebody gave me this, a kid gave me this ducky once. A kid gave me this ducky, and then my friend Quinn gave me this one. And I always keep things people give me because you never know when you can show that to somebody again, and it means the world to them to know that you it means the world to them to know that you hung on to something that they gave you. What's up, Drew Nickens? He's the true Drew. Hell yeah. Good to see you, buddy. But yes, Frankie. This is Frankenstein. This was, I'm going to put him back over here because, well, you know what? Where can we? We're going to let Frankie hang out with us all day. That's perfect. That's perfect. Hell yeah, Frankie. And he's going to look at us. He's coming around, guys. He's coming around. Hell yeah, Drew. Love seeing you here, brother. Yeah, how about that random Kill Tony upload, man? Hell of an episode. Like I said, I watched the second night just over the last couple of days, and man, night one was incredible. I didn't get to watch the live, but it was insane that we were able to watch this thing grow from doing shows to maybe a dozen folk inside the belly room to selling out literal Madison Square Garden, dude. Oh, Frankie rules. Frankie's the shit. We would always introduce, I think that this almost helped a little bit to up the tips in the live shows, but donating to Frankie was how we would always describe tipping us. Like, if you guys want to hear a song, just you know, if you guys want to hear anything, feel free to write it on the back of a crisp $20 bill and drop it off to Frankie here, and he'll tell us what your request was. And we did that for a long time, but it eventually evolved into just all right, guys, this everybody say hey to Frankie. This is Frankie. Everybody say hey, Frankie, and everybody would say hey, Frankie. And I'd be like, all right, Frankie is our tip jar. Frankie's been hanging off the end of this mic stand for however many years at that point, and he hung off of there for about over a decade, over 10 years. Frankie here. There was a time when he the bottom busted out, and I don't know if you can see it here, but I had to come in and sew the bottom back in because it ripped. I know I sewed right here, but there was another spot. Oh, over here. You can't see it here, but from there all the way around, because it's been so long, like, I guess you can see it now. From there all the way around, I sewed Frankie back together because the bottom busted out on him. And I'll be damned, we ain't doing a show without our friend Frankie. And Frankie came to the last gig that I did with my boy Dylan. Frankie was there for that. Is that a good super chat pitch? Hey guys, this is Frankie. Ladies and gentlemen, say hey to Frankie. He said hey back. Frankie doesn't talk you know, very, very much anymore, but he says hello back. If you guys want to support the stream a little bit, drop some dollars in Frankie. And Frankie's link is the top link in the description. You know? And this is all going to support Frankie. What we want to get Frankie is we want to get Frankie some ears. We would like to get the rest of Frankie's body. He's you know, he's not sad because that's not really Frankie's style. He didn't really get sad or anything like that. But he's living his best life right now. And, I mean, guys, look at that smile. I mean, are you kidding me? Look at that smile. But anyway, all of your super chats and all of your super things and all of your donations in the very top link of the description. By the way, it works just the same as a super chat. So if you donate over $1.99 or over, you know, you get to speak to Frankie. That's the only way he can hear you. The only way Frankie can hear you is through the, you know, red chats that the AI thing, the voice does. And if that chat is exactly $6.66, like you see Jason Y drop the other night in the top link, and also if you do use the top link in the description, it goes into that little scrolly thing that's scrolling across right now. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you get to set your username as whatever. So it can be anything. It can be silly. Frankie gets by with a little help from his friends. That's right. But we love Frankie. But the story of Frankie is that Frankie's life began as a Halloween candy receptacle for my brother Adam, who I played cornbread with, my band brother Adam, who we played cornbread, the band, in Myrtle Beach together for many years. Adam's son, Cruz. His first ever Halloween, Cruz's first Halloween ever. Frankie was his candy bucket. And, of course, Cruz was one year old. And Adam's wife, Ashley, had made cornbread. It was cute. Our band was called Cornbread. And Ashley made cornbread, like little individual cornbread and it was free cornbread for people. But it was during the time where people were saying, hey, you shouldn't take homemade Halloween stuff. Do not accept homemade Halloween things, because back then they were saying, oh, people are putting marijuana in the Halloween candy. And it was like, dude, do you know how much that stuff costs? Nobody's putting that in their in the candy they're giving away. But she made a bunch of cornbread, and because Cruz Man was only one at the time, he ain't hanging on to the basket or whatever. So Frankie got left behind that night with us. And I kept it. And was like, hey, this would be a really cool tip jar, especially seeing as how it was like around Halloween. And I was like, this would be neat. So I literally tied Frankie off on the end of my microphone stand. And this was in October of 2010. I want to say October of 2010. And Frankie hung off of the end of my mic stand for every single gig that I did. I've done more gigs with Frankie here than I've done with any other person on the face of the earth. Me and this guy go back. I love this guy. This is my buddy right here. This is my boy. Frankie's the shit, man. Me and that guy go back. Hell yeah, dude. Brother Cornbread ruled. Honestly, dude, I'll show you. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go to my channel, and I'm going to search on my channel. Actually, I'm just gonna type in Cornbread Band and hit enter. Oh, look, we're the top thing there. And I'll give you this. Where is my thing at?
Who's the monster here? We said it was me, but I bet that you don't fear a fucking thing. Yeah, I bet that you don't fear a fucking thing.
There's Frankie in action right there.
Is it me? 'Cause I'm rolling off the lane.
Adam Justice playing guitar over there with me. That's Smitty.
Me not to feel a fucking thing. And I bet that
There's Adam right there. It's Adam's son. Adam's son was
locked up inside my head.
terrible on this thing. But there's Frankie hanging off the end of my mic stand. And that fan that's blowing on me right there is literally blowing on me right here, right now. That fan, that very fan, is underneath my desk right here. And by the way, those paintings in the back, those are velvet paintings. I don't know if you guys know what velvet paintings are. Yeah, dude. That's William Bryce Stadium right there, Gamecock Stadium. Frankie does get around, dude. There's entire streams that we have done. This is from our 1,000th show, our 1,000th gig. It was huge. It's like a huge deal for us, man. Like there was people everywhere. Like you can even see there's one guy sitting at a table. They just had tables right up on the stage. I kind of had shit set up around our camera so that people wouldn't come and bump into it, but it still got bumped into a lot. Velvet Elvis, Velvet Hank, Velvet Senior, Velvet Kenny Rogers. There was a fire at this place, and they had to close for like a couple months, and now it's been remodeled. This was one of my favorite spots to play. Hell yeah, dude. Those were his lights. We always it added a lot to the show, man. And then I'm gonna nod to him here in a second and tell him, all right, here you go. You can see me through the camera, through the reflection on the TV. Up inside my head is a scary place to be. Smitty was singing he took over the melody and I was in harmony. Then you won't get out alive. Locked up inside my head is a scary place to be. If ever you wander inside and don't touch anything, 'cause then you won't get out alive. There's an original for you. Right on. We're going to take a break if you're here in just a little bit, guys. Right on. How about that? Let's see what this is. Oh, shit. Look at old Yonder in a suit. There's Frankie again. A different video, same Frankie. We had a metal sign with our silhouettes on it back there behind us. Suit, brother. Yeah. There's us again. That ain't us. That ain't us. That's us. Y'all want to see something wild? Frankie wasn't there for this one because they set their own equipment up for this stuff. That wasn't my mic stand, but I did wrap my guitar strap around it and it slid down. I was pissed. I ain't like them kneecaps.
Well, there's a bed where they both laid and ripped my world apart. Then flew off up to Kansas.
I always got so pissed when Adam Justice sat drinks down on the ground right there because he would always end up kicking them over, dude.
In their graves they're both laid, but they're hiding up in Kansas where no one knows their name. Well, they stole two of my horses, Grandpa saddled him.
This, I don't know, have you guys ever heard of a band called Danger Muffin? If you have, or haven't either way, they were the band. We were opening for Danger Muffin at the Boathouse in Myrtle Beach. Boathouse in Myrtle Beach has a lot of really big shows. It's right on the Intercoastal Waterway. That water that's flowing behind us, it's called the Intercoastal Waterway there. That waterway is the longest connected waterway in America. It's the longest connected waterway. It's not a river, it's a waterway.
Well, that winter was a cold one, but it brought in early spring. Made do with what I had.
If my strings were flopping around like that, that means that I had broken one and it had to have been changed. Because I always kept my strings wrapped on the end. That blue tuner, I still got it. Bro, well done, Adam. He's getting so pissed every time they hit a wrong chord. Let's hit a G beat. All these have been originals except for that Grateful Dead tune. The first song was an original. This is an original. And I give it to Adam because I can't. In my mind, I can't trust him to do the rhythm. I'll give him the nod, you see. Backed up. Look at him, just at how far he had to. Look at his flip-flops underneath him now. I was like, dude, you're chaos. You're chaos. You're 100% chaos, brother. Everything is going on. You see how far you had to step to your pedal? That's why you end up kicking stuff over.
Making horses out of steel, make it easy, we're good travel. Now my word could be fulfilled. So I drove on up to Kansas.
Hell yeah.
Like a storm and hurricane. Didn't leave it till I found them now.
Adam just smiled because the line is in the pouring fucking rain, but I said storm and hurricane there because there were kids. There were kids out there. Daytime gig. Yeah, this stuff. This is like one of the first songs I wrote. I was definitely on powder when I wrote this for sure. I might have still been on it then. When was this? 7 years ago? Nah, I was probably just fresh off of it, but hell yeah, how about them kneecaps coming in hot. We gotta be somewhere down here. There was that video. We weren't cast iron cornbread. Let's see. Oh, bro, this was me hammered right here. Zach Slaughter. This was before Frankie. This was before Groove Man turned 1. This was... Smitty was so sloppy on that drum back then, man. He got so much better, dude. Shirtless Grateful Dead shirt. No beard yet. I was just drunk as shit. Homer used to film all these videos for us. Yeah.
Everybody give it up for Z Slaughter on the bass guitar over here.
What a night, dude. What a night, bro. I have a shot about that. Hammered during these too. Hey, that hat, y'all see that hat I'm wearing right there? Does that look familiar? From 10 years ago? Same hat I wore that hat today. Anyway, here I'll tell you what. I'll drop this in there on the on my Twitter. But before I do that, we gonna do that. Hell yeah. Anyway, there's a little trip down memory lane. That's who I used to be. Paste, post, and then I'm gonna go into the comments. And I'm going to drop, let's see. Oh, man, here's some more from that same year. And that same show. I'm going to drop that, too, in there in the comments. Paste, post. What else is here? There's so much crazy shit. There was stuff when Smitty was playing the guitar and I was playing the drum. Oh, wow. I'm going to drop this thing in here, too. I'm just posting right now on my Twitter. Just a bunch of, hey, Stacy, how you doing? Stacy remembers cornbread. I'm showing them cornbread videos in here, Stacy. Did you catch any of that? She's been to a few cornbread shows in her day. When we were still doing it, when the old cornbread boys were still doing it. Well, there's a couple of these from Bike Week back then. Oh, damn, somebody put a playlist out there. No way. Somebody made a cornbread playlist. Okay, hold on. Can I share that? I don't think I can share the whole playlist. Unless I search from playlists. Hell yeah. Cornbread was fun. And playlists. I want to. There we go. Well, it's not letting me share the whole playlist, but dude, there's everything. Yeah, dude. I was drunk, shirtless. I know y'all can't see that anymore, but hell yeah. That was a thing. That was one thing that we really like. One thing that we had was Adam, the guitar player. That started, Stacy, by me introducing him to Frankie here. I don't know if you noticed, Frankie's still over here. You've met Frankie, but I was talking to him about explaining him the history of Frankie, and that sort of led us down this whole rabbit hole of cornbread. Yeah, that whole rabbit hole of cornbread. I don't know what she was laughing at. That was a crazy. Show, the one that we did. Now Stacy's probably seen us at. She's seen us a lot of different places, but she also got to see when I was still drinking. That was a side of cornbread that not a lot of people get to. That got, we remember it, but I want to get down. Copy that link and see what happens here. Okay, so that works. And then we'll add one more. And make sure that works once we post it. Yep, and that goes straight to the whole playlist. So yeah, there's a whole playlist of pretty much all the stuff that I just posted to my Twitter. So, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with getting a little litty titty. Yeah, I was I had a good. Hey, listen. Bad or good, it was never not interesting. Never a dull moment. Oh, I appreciate you, Stacy. Always tried to be a pleasure to be around. I didn't nail it every time, but sometimes. Ayo. Yeah, I never cared. Especially when I was drinking, like I wanted the crowd to be as rowdy as I was, and man, I was rowdy. I wanted that noise. I wanted that noise. Well, you are very much loved and safe, always. But yeah, I got rowdy, man. I got very rowdy. Yeah, just I wanted the crowd to be right there with me, man. I wanted them to be fucking on the same level that I was on. So I always encouraged everybody else to drink too, as heavily as I was drinking. And that was good for bar sales. So our band got booked a lot because we sold a lot of drinks. Granted, most of them were us convincing people to buy us drinks. But yeah, just once I got to that point where I was like, man, honestly, I believe I had quit drinking before I knew that I had quit drinking. Like I stopped. When I stopped, I don't think that I planned on quitting. But there was a guy, Brian Jordan, who I believe still maybe bartends at Uncle Tito's, the bar I used to manage. He had quit some years before me, and sometimes he would be where he worked a bar. He was a bartender, and then that was just his thing. But he didn't drink at all, and he would just say every now and again when I would just be going up there talking about how sad I was, he'd be like, "Just quit. You should just quit." And he's very funny about it. He was fucking hilarious. Brian Jordan is one of the funniest people I've ever known. He's one of those people, you know how the funniest person you know who isn't a comedian? Because the funniest person you know isn't a comedian. And that's just the truth, no matter which way you cut it. The funniest people you know don't care about stand-up, don't do that, don't do comedy. They're just funny. But Brian Jordan is one of those people. But yeah, he'd always put that in the back of my head. So I'd stop for that one day. And it was pretty much like I'd embarrassed myself real bad in front of a bunch of my friends. And I was a really shitty person and said a bunch of really shitty things. And, but, yeah, well, you don't have to behave. What's wrong with not behaving? But yeah, I embarrassed myself real bad, and I was like, I have to do something to show these people that I'm sorry for what I had done. What's up, Shane? But yeah, I wanted to say, like, to everybody, hey, I'm sorry for what I've done, and instead of, and I did eventually verbally apologize to the people I needed to verbally apologize to, for sure. But in my way of life, I decided to apologize in my way of life by saying, okay, well, I'm embarrassed of what I've done, so I'm gonna not drink. And yeah, that was a thing. Did y'all hear that? Hell yeah, brother. Poot poot. I do that when I see Pooter in a chat somewhere else. But yeah, so by that time, I didn't realize I was gonna quit. I'm smoking right now, by the way, so you guys light them up. I didn't realize I was going to quit. I had no plan. I just stopped for a day. And then I stopped for a couple days. I did almost go to the bar and get a drink at Dead Dog Saloon one day, and the sound guy, great and powerful Jay Hodge. Jay Hodge, rest in peace. He was a exactly. Action speaks louder than words. Oh, thank you so much, Stacy. Very kind of you to say. But yeah, but then honestly, I did get involved in the powder kind of heavily after that, after I quit drinking, because I needed something else to do, and I needed something to wean me off of the booze, and I had to feel like my brain was getting something, So I started doing powder, and I did that for like a year after it. And honestly, it's not the safest thing that I could have done. But because of my personality and my addictive nature, I'm glad that I did it, because I know now that I can't do it. So that goes back to what you were saying a bit ago, Sean, that you have to try things over and over and realize that you can't do it. Like, that's what the powder was for me. What's up, Manna? I hear you going to be coming back to Austin for a little bit here in a couple weeks. Yeah, it's not safe. It's not. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is just, the only thing, man, I'm going to send a picture of you around and say, watch this guy. He said something really weird about Joe, and watch this guy. Like, he's going to be trying to get into all the clubs, but just he's weird, and I'm just, you guys gotta watch. And you say the safe fun, Stacy. Here's the thing. It's safe to not do it. It's very safe to not do it. But what isn't safe, and people are thinking, oh, it's just safe because I've tested it. And it's weird that people, because I know the amount of fentanyl that it would take to hurt someone is way smaller than the amount that, way smaller than the amount that is being tested. You know what I mean? Like, it's terrible. It's just like, you're not testing every bit of it, because to properly test for the amount of that can be hidden inside of something, you'd have to waste all of it. And I don't know anybody that's wasting powder. Like, dude, crazy, dude. Yonder. Somebody said a negative comment about me on an episode of Kill Tony one time and called me Yonder, Yawnder. So now every time I see that, I got to think about that negative YouTube comment that someone dropped in there on me. Speaking of that, if you want to help the channel out at all, use the top link in the description. Yeah, you never want to have to break out something like that. You never want to be put in the position to where you are the thing that is going to save someone's life. You never want to be that guy. But everybody does like to say, "Oh, but we tested it, it's safe." And that is the most horrifying sentence that you can hear a friend say. We tested it, it's safe. Like, the tests, it's going to take someone, unfortunately, overdosing after using a test for people to realize, oh shit, maybe there isn't a safe way to do this. Maybe there isn't a safe way to do this stuff. And honestly, I was having a conversation with somebody today who will obviously remain nameless for an obvious reason, but like we were talking about, and they still do it. And I was just talking about how I just not as safe anymore. When I was doing it, it was honestly, when I was doing it, you didn't have to worry about that stuff. Like the stuff that can literally kill you showed up a couple years after I had already quit. It only takes a grain, and if you're breaking that shit up, and it could easily hide in there. Easily hide. I bet, Rhino. What are withdrawals like from that? Or did you ever have to go through them? Because I'd imagine you probably... They may have put you on like a lot of prescribed things afterwards as well, so you probably had a chance to wean it off. That's how I feel, Stacy. That's how I feel. Oh, man, I love me a jelly-filled relapse. Every time somebody walks by with a Voodoo Donuts box after leaving Voodoo Donuts, I always say, watch out for that voodoo curse. And I keep eye contact with them and do my best Paul Bearer face. And usually gets a little chuckle. But I don't like Voodoo Donuts. I don't want to say that too loud because everybody around here like swears by it. Like they all live for it and love it. And I see so many people walk by all the time. With those boxes, but I don't care for it. And it's because Ryer, but yeah, what I do like is Krispy Kreme. Big Krispy Kreme guy here. And I mean to tell you that when I'm talking about Krispy Kreme, I want the light to be on. But let's be honest. If the light isn't on, Krispy Kreme is still greater than Dunkin', greater than Voodoo. It's greater than all that other stuff. It's just greater than. By the way, Ryer has an incredible new episode of her podcast, The Hole in the Pen Cap. Episode, I believe, 12. Came out yesterday. You guys should be sure to consume that sweet, sweet content. Ryer, is it us again tomorrow? Is it us again tomorrow? Shipley's? Yeah, exactly. Now, there is a thing in, Ryer, what's it called? Is it Round Rock? Round Rock Donuts? Is that what it's called? Those are incredible. Hell yeah, I love it when Ryer's like one of my favorite people to work with. Love you so much, Stacy. So good to see you. It's always good to see you. Stacy, I love that you're like the transitional form. You're someone who I've known in real life for actual years that is also part of the YouTube fam. And you being here means a lot to me. I just want you to know that. Let's see. It's called something donuts. It might be Round Rock Donuts. Is it? Because, dude, somebody brought some of those to a football party we had at the house once, and man, yes, they are. It is Round Rock Donuts, and dude, I'm here to tell you, those things fuck. Amish donuts. Hepatitis donuts? Holy smokes. No, Ryer, Stacy is literally, we lived next door to each other for like 12 years, pretty much. We literally, if I walked out of my front door of my apartment, I was looking at her backyard. Winchell's I've heard of. Hey, bro, say what you will about Krispy Kreme donuts, but I'm saying they're just greater than. Krispy Kreme's raspberry-filled glazed is incredible. It's better than anywhere else. Their lemon-filled powdered sugar is greater than. Their French crullers are better. The donut holes are better, but nothing compares to Krispy Kreme's fresh original glazed donut while the hot light is on. Also, just the chocolate, the chocolate things. I never really go for chocolate covered stuff very much. I'm more of just a regular glazed hot. But my favorite is the raspberry filled glazed. That's my favorite. And from Krispy Kreme, I'm so fat. I don't care. I'm just saying it because I find myself having the most passionate thoughts about food, more so than most other things. I guess I speak passionately about other stuff too, but let's smoke. I think I most passionately speak about food more often than other things. Maybe food or Tom Waits. Boudin balls. I know all about that. Wake up, wake up. Tell me what you gonna do now. Don't tell him, Amanda. Don't tell him, Manna. Have you ever had it, Shane? Have you ever had Krispy Kreme? Because when that hot light is on, brother, so good. Guys, I can't tell you how much better I feel ever since I used the vibrator on my shoulders. Guys, they really do say you carry stress in your shoulders, and I believe them. Because I feel rejuvenated. Rejuvenated. Anyway, gosh, I'm really finding it hard not to just spurg out on all of the donut flavors that Krispy Kreme has and why they're greater than the other things. Their seasonal stuff is. Their seasonal donuts are incredible. Everyone agrees. Greatest in America. America has the best donuts. All the other countries' donuts, total disasters. Krispy Kreme. It's incredible. We all love it. If I see the hot light on, I say we're stopping. I don't care if we're late, we're going to stop. If I see that hot light, we're pulling over. Regional airports. Ooh. That would be, man, So you have Krispy Kreme in Thailand. That's awesome. I bet that would be the most pleasant smell on an airplane, would just be a shitload of donuts. I wonder if they make that into a soap. I gotta stop. These thoughts are getting scary. We have a Krispy Kreme here, but it's nowhere near anywhere I'm ever willingly driving. But what are you talking about? You didn't see my vibrator? Look at this thing. I'm telling you. Let's go back in there. Let's have round 2. Oh boy. Oh Lord. Once again, if somebody's just listening to this, they're like, what is he doing? Oh, dude. Jason, I lived, when I worked at Starbucks, there's a thing where if at the end of the night, if something is going to be spoiled or go bad, we all brought it home. So, like, I lived off of markouts, and it was like we throw these things away, but if you want to take them, you can take them. I lived off of Starbucks pastries, dude. Like, sometimes me and my brother Kerry, who actually is one of the founders of Screwball and doing very well for himself, we used to live off of those markouts, man. Oh, yeah. Toe likes to, she does the eyeball thing with it. I haven't gone there yet, but I will go up on the top of my neck, like, but I don't get too close to my actual head because shit starts to vibrate in a way I'm not comfortable with. But, man, I used to live off of those markouts, man, like pumpkin loaf, banana loaf, lemon pound, muffins out of the ass. Just so many muffins, dude. Bran muffins. Because nobody bought the bran muffin. And we see a whole tray of bran muffins out and be like, well, these are getting marked out. I like the toffee cake and the coffee cake. The coffee cake was incredible. But yeah. Oh boy. This literally has, you have no idea how much this relieves. Like, I feel so much better knowing that I've broken up whatever these tight things. Hey, this vibrator is rechargeable, and it is at literally 99%. You can tell the light's still green here. It'll start to turn closer to yellow when it's about halfway, and then it'll get red when it's like 20% or less. Shh. Oh, Lord. I think I found a spot that we didn't get the first time. I think we found a spot that we didn't get. Anyway, boy, let's talk about donuts some more. I know what time they restocked the donuts at the gas station next to my house. I don't know why I'm revealing these embarrassing facts about myself. Sometimes when I would show up to a drive-through to order my food, I would always look at my phone as if I was reading a text from someone before I would say, yeah, that'll do it, so that they wouldn't think all of this food is for him. But then I'd get to the drive-through and they would see me, and I know that they would know that it was all for me. Good Lord, man. They're almost done building a brand new QT next to my house. A new Quick Trip. And Quick Trip is my favorite gas station. One, because they have a hot dog roller. They got hot dogs. I love hot dogs. But they have all kinds of interesting things that you can get off of their their rollers or whatever. But the hot dog is the only thing I care for. I've had their corn dogs, which I could do without. I've had their what do you call those things? Are they tostadas? Is that what they're called? What are those they're like crispy. Yeah, they're crispy, but I forget what they're called. Tornadoes, maybe they call them. But QT kind of rules, man. And when I come home late at night, there's nowhere else to get hot food at that time. But if QT is someone who cares about their job working there, they keep the stuff taquitos. That's right. That's what they're called, taquitos. But if there's somebody who cares about their job, those people will definitely be keeping the hot dog roller stocked. And that's the thing that I think, that's a platform someone could win an election on. I'll make sure that all of the Quick Trips have hot dogs all the time. All of them. We're going to be making hot dogs 24 hours. Breakfast hours, hot dogs. McDonald's will start selling hot dogs. Everyone starts selling hot dogs. But I'm grinding up some more green tea here, and I just almost lost a nuggy. But yeah, I like Quick Trip a lot, and it's exciting because there's not a lot of food options where I'm at, and that's on my way home, and it's closer to my house than most other gas stations. Hell yeah, man. There's a 7-Eleven on my way home, too, but I hardly ever go there because it's hard to get in and out of. It's in a great location, but I think that it was in this location for some time, and then they made a new intersection, and it kind of fucked their entrance up, but they kept going anyway, you know? Yeah, the gas station taquito, you're right, it's not exactly crispy. Those need to be like in oil, hot oil right before you get them. That's what a good taquito needs. Man, you're talking about tacos. My favorite restaurant in Austin is a joint called Tyson's Tacos. It's my favorite restaurant in all of Austin. It's a 24-hour spot where people line up along the wall out front of a window, where you walk up to a window and you order your tacos and then you wait and pick them up from a different window. Not a drive-through, on foot. And dude, it is the greatest. It's the best tacos I've ever had. And there's only one place that I've had that is in Houston that actually I know a guy. It's called Brothers Tacos in Houston. I know the guy that owns that place, and man, it is incredible. And this dude absolutely hooked it up last time we went in there. He's incredible. Huge Kill Tony fan. He comes into town every now and again to watch Kill Tony. And those are the only tacos I've ever had that are better than Tyson's. Tyson's is my favorite restaurant in Austin. The only problem is the amount of food I want to get when I go there is always more expensive than I can afford. Yet I always spend that money when I go there. But good Lord, is it incredible. That's my favorite one, Jason. It's called the Tasty Bastard. Hello, Lara. Welcome to you. But yeah, dude, Tyson's rules. The Tasty Bastard is my favorite taco. It's literally ribeye and shrimp and like a spicy salsa, like not even salsa, but like almost like just a spicy sauce. And dude, it's incredible. Their brisket tacos are good. Their burnt ends tacos are incredible. They do tacos out of burnt brisket ends, which is wild. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of tacos in Houston, but this, like my buddy, he was like, "Hey man," because I said I'm gonna be going down to Houston for Skankfest, and he was like, "Hey man, bring everybody by, dude. I'll take care of everybody." And like I walked in and I was like, I was like, "Hey, he's gonna try, but pay the man." Like we were trying, but he would not take any money from us at all, and like we tipped his staff monstrously between the whole crew that we had that went. Man, it was so good. That was such a cool weekend, man. That Skankfest Houston. We showed up. We drove down from Austin. We drove down to Houston, and we got there that day. And that morning, on the way there, and I had the Airbnb set up for us, and there was a big group of people there was like 6 of us that were getting, there were 6 of us that were going to be getting a room at this house. And we were just renting a house on Airbnb. But literally on the way to Houston, I went to check out my Airbnb app to get the address to the house. And when I looked, the guy had canceled my thing. So I called back. I called Airbnb and was like, "Hey, we're literally on the way to Houston. We're driving in from out of town, and people are flying in that are already in Houston waiting for somewhere to go and put their bags down. Like, what is going on?" And they were like, the guy revoked his thing. I think the dude asked what we were in town for, and I told him Comedy Festival, and I'm pretty sure he probably Googled Comedy Festival Houston, saw Skankfest, looked at a few Skankfest videos, and was like, oh my God, we're not letting this person into our house. Like, I bet that's what happened. But, anyway, on the way down there, it was fucking annoying. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So that whole day I was stressing out, like on the phone the whole time, calling my bank back home that was just about to close for the day. And I was like, hey, I'm in Houston right now, and I'm trying to book a hotel room, and it's not allowing me to. I'm just trying to make sure that my card's not cut off or anything like that. And they were like, no, you're fine. I don't know what it is. It must be the thing you're using. And I was trying to use Hotel Tonight, which is a lot cheaper. And it's a lot cheaper to get rooms there. But anyway, I was just like, I don't know what's happening right now. This sucks. This is terrible. So finally, I realized, okay, this is not on me. This is on Hotel Tonight, and they're not letting my transactions go through. And I said, fuck it. I'm going to go down to Priceline. Went to Priceline, and I found 6 rooms at the cheapest interstate hotel I could find. And I literally got 6 rooms at this fucking place. And a couple of them had to share a room. But we all got our own rooms. And except for, I think, a couple people had to share. But, man, finally got the rooms squared away. And we could enjoy the rest of Skankfest. And after that, we went and signed up for Kill Tony. Me and Mumford Davis both got pulled on that episode. And it was a really good set for both of us, but the interview, we were tired. We had driven down that day. Everybody was kind of tired. It is one of the infamous episodes of Kill Tony that never aired. And I will say this. There was something that happened in the episode that could have been cut out, but probably would not have been accepted back then, given the situation of everything that had gone on. But after leaving Skankfest, me and Mumford and everybody else, like Mumford, I think he got sick while we were in Houston and had COVID. And then I got it as well. And I had been smoking joints with pretty much everybody that whole weekend. And it ended up being that Mumford had it, and then I caught it like, I don't know, a couple days later. And just wasn't feeling it when I got back home, and then did the test. But that was after we, Yoni hooked us up. Yoni, the producer for Kill Tony, hooked us up with, he was like, hey, this is the stuff that like Rogan and everybody's been doing. And he hooked us up with the monoclonal antibodies. So we went and got the monoclonal antibodies and like got the natural immunity or whatever. What's up, Tulsa Sound? Hell yeah, dude. Welcome to you. But yeah, we got the old monoclonal antibodies, and took 2 weeks off of work, and I was back at it after that. Yep. I got right back at it after that. Good to see you as well. Gonna set my watch back to it. Um, but yeah, dude, that Houston weekend was so much fun. It was crazy. We're just standing around and like, oh, there's Bob Saget. There's Bob Saget hanging out over there. Holy shit. Or just, I don't know, everybody. I met Brian Holtzman in person at Skankfest. I'm not going to Skankfest this year, man. I can't afford it. I can't. And if I could afford it, I can't afford to miss work, brother. I mean, I'd love to. Don't get me wrong, but I can't. I just can't afford it, man. But yeah, if everything, I don't know, it was to the point where like if everything would have just fell into place perfectly, I had in my mind that like maybe I'll try to make it work, but also if there's any resistance at all on any of my plans, then that's a sign that I should not go. But yeah, I can't. I wish I could, dude. I just ain't got it like that, man. Working the door isn't the kind of funds that'll get you to sneak away for a week to go to Vegas. You know. The Skankfest cruise, now that might be the kind of thing because those are all inclusive. All food and everything's taken care of. A Skankfest cruise would be nuts. I heard Holtzman, that's right. But yeah, I met Brian Holtzman at Skankfest Houston for the first time in person. I remember I remember seeing him walk by and I said, Hey Brian, I'm Kelsey Hudgens. And as soon as I got done saying my name, he lit up and it was just, oh, I know you. You're my friend from the internet. It was just so fucking funny. Like instantly. Like we were fast friends, man. Holtzman's awesome, dude. It was another moment when we were at Skankfest in Vegas, and it was just cool. I was standing there, and Holtzman like walked over to me and like said something about my birthday, and it was fucking holy shit, man. Did you say that as I was telling that fucking story? Did you seriously just do that? Bro. Yeah, man. That was a cool fucking... That was a cool moment. That was a cool fucking moment, man. That's wild that the universe will do something like that. That's hilarious. But yeah, man, just it's crazy. He was walking by today, and I got to meet his friend from out of town. Holtzman was out showing him the mothership, showing him everything. But he always stops by and like shakes my hand and introduces me to whoever he's with, like. And sometimes it's a random friend from a long time ago, or Ben Grelly, who you guys know from Kill Tony. He met the Night Stalker, Ben Grelly, old friends with Brian Holtzman. Brian introduced me to Eleanor and Steve Simeon. Really nice guy. Eleanor's a sweetheart. Holtzman fucking rules. And he's been on a tear lately, man, where people are really getting it. People are really starting to get Holtzman because he's not allowing them not to. You know? He's not allowing them not to get it. Just so fucking... Black and Blue, that's 100%. Wait, do you know Holtzman? Black and Blue, do I know who you are? Have you been lurking in here and someone that I know in real life? Holtzman is a living legend. There's often times when I say to people, how crazy is it that we're alive at the same time as that guy? How crazy is it that we get to live on the same, out of all the years that Earth has existed, how crazy is it that he is alive, that we're alive at the same time as Brian Holtzman? Like, guys, this is, I know that this is crazy now, but dude, Brian Holtzman is like Rodney Dangerfield. Brian Holtzman is like Rodney. He is huge. And like, you guys have no idea how huge. Like, I don't know, man. Just the kind of people that he has an effect over, or has, so he's gained the respects of the greatest, gain the respect of the greatest comedians on earth. Yeah, stay in your fucking lane. Wait a minute, Black and Blue. Do you mean barely we know each other? We talk sometimes, like in real life? Hell yeah, alien. But dude, Holtzman really is one of the kindest people that you'll ever meet. Like, behind the scenes, he is just so fucking kind. Damn, Lance. You gotta treat that shit like a Glade plug-in. Plug it in, plug it in. Oh yeah. Dude, he's like that. He's like that, Black and Blue. He's there'll be random people. There'll be random people that'll be like, hey, I this is a friend of mine. I met him at a CVS earlier today. And they're just coming around. And he's introducing them to everybody in the green room, and it's cool. And he's, hey, I met these guys earlier. I had to go in and get batteries, or something like that. But yeah, he rules. He's just so nice to everyone that he meets, is what I'm getting at. He's like the same person to everyone that he meets, and he has such charm too, with how he is so funny and how he reacts. He's still Holtzman. Like, when the waitress comes to the table. You know what I mean? But he's so charming with how he deals with you could just tell people who don't maybe know that he's a comedian, because I don't think that people, we go to one of the same spots all the time for lunch. And we go to one of the same spots all the time for lunch. So these girls that work there, they see him come in every day, and they know him, and they love him. But they don't know that he's a comedian. I don't think they know what he does for work. I don't know what he does for work. But it's so funny, like, that he is who he is, and they all, like, you could tell it's not just one of those, like, waitress, like, I'm gonna put up with you while you're here, but, like, it's a genuine. He's just so easy to like, because he just looks like a caricature. Oh yeah, dude, Holtzman rules. Those secret shows at Vulcan. Those shows at Vulcan were wild. I remember going to a secret show one night, and I met Red Band, and then that night Ron White popped in. I don't think Holtzman was there that night, but Ron White popped in, and as he was going to leave, I went to shake his hand, and I was like, Ron, thank you so much for doing these little things, like these little spots, so we get to see you. And then I patted him on the back as he was walking away, and then I saw on Instagram later that there was a picture of Elon Musk with his hand on the spot that I patted Ron White on the back. And it's that one of those crazy person thoughts where, like, holy shit, my hand went where Elon Musk's hand was. Like, it was one of those weird things where you, like, one of the first moments, like, that was my first connection where I had a thought like, oh, wow. I was one person away from the richest man on earth in a moment. And that was the first time I had a thought like that, where it's just a kid from Bennettsville, South Carolina would like, holy shit. Just, I don't know. Yo, for real, Jason? That's wild, man, because I remember that. I think that Eddie Griffin show, yeah, dude, that was one of the first comedy shows I'd ever went to. Oh, yeah, he really does. He knows how to enjoy every minute. Yeah, that's true, Alien Invasion. There's a lot more people out there doing better than him that we'll never know their names. Like the richest people on earth, you'll never know their names. Like they're probably there's probably 100 people richer than the richest man on earth right now. There's probably maybe even hundreds richer than that person that you'll never know their names. Like, dude, there's probably 100 in Dubai. Yeah, we love Holtzman, dude. He's the man. We gotta go to lunch one day next week, I think. He stopped by today. I'm gonna reach out to the lunch gang here real quick while I'm thinking about it. Just hit them out. Let's do lunch next week? ? Fellas. I love it when Holtzman's way of saying, "Hey, let's go to lunch." He'll walk by and go, "Yeah." It's so funny. Like he'll walk by in the street and just do that. Yes. It's fascinating to know these people is what I mean. It's fascinating to know these people and be just able to interact with them on a daily basis. It's insane. Man, it's so insane. But yeah, he's headlining the mothership now, you know, and he's walking out to a standing ovation at Madison Square fucking Gardens. Madison Square Garden, sorry. Madison Square Garden, yeah, later, emo. And then I'm just watching that little podcast where he says let me see. I think I have it right here. I posted it on my Twitter the other day. He says these words.
It's not going anywhere. Comedy's big. It's getting bigger and bigger, and it's not going anywhere. So,
What do you mean?
Eventually, you know, my day my day will come. You know, my day.
Day of reckoning?
The day of
revenge?
The day of not catching dogs in Manhattan Beach. You know, and then I'll be able to make myself available to whoever who wants to take a chance.
That fucking laugh, dude. Holtzman fucking rules. Oh, I just looked at my Twitter and realized that I tweeted all of these cornbread things, these random fucking cornbread things. So please, go to my Twitter and click on those cornbread things. Also, be sure to like this video. He will. Holtzman will be on there. He's gonna go do it. He'll be on there for sure. There it is. Did y'all hear that? They talk about him enough. He's gonna go on. It'll for sure happen, and it'll probably happen soon. Yeah, dude, he's awesome. We're lucky to have him around here in Austin, man. And Ron White, too. Ron White's been coming around a lot lately. But, man, like, Holtzman's a fucking treasure. He always comes in and does, like, says really nice things about Sunset and how he loves performing there. And he just has a lot of really nice things to say about our club. And I really appreciate that, because the general population is always going to be comparing every single club in Austin to the mothership. And at this point, every single club everywhere, like on Earth, is now just compared to the mothership. But he really comes in and says, like, I don't want to give away his stuff, because I want you guys to see him, and I want you to come to Sunset Strip to see him too. Like, obviously, go see Holtzman wherever you can, but come to Austin and see a show at our club, man, because see a secret show at our club. Or any other show. And by the way, if you do go see shows at Sunset Strip, anytime you buy tickets, you can use the promo code YONDER at checkout, YONDER. That saves you $5 on any ticket, any show. That's a code that'll stay there. So use that for any code, any show, and do that at checkout. It'll save you $5. Yeah, dude, because if you get to see Holtzman go up in that room, for instance, whenever Holtzman goes on stage, we all, like, a lot of people, like, the green room kind of clears out when Holtzman goes on stage, because everybody wants to go watch Holtzman. Everybody wants to go see Holtzman. It really is, Jason. It is such a beautiful club. But yeah, just, I don't know. You'll see comedians, like comedians that are in the green room, and then Holtzman goes on stage, and they're like, wow, I want to go out here and watch Holtzman. It's just a thing, man. You got to see it in person. And I suggest you see it at Sunset, because he just talks about how he's really, really, he doesn't get he doesn't get any kind of backlash from the crowd at all at Sunset. Hell yeah, alien. I have my moments. On a Wednesday, that would have been, was that a Cam Patterson Black and Mild show? Or I usually do that if somebody comes up and like they know my name. I'll usually be like, hey, did anybody bark you in with a code? Did anybody give you a flyer? And if they say no and they knew my name, then I will give them my discount code. But if they ever give someone else a name, or give someone else's code or a name or whatever, I'll always use that one. I ain't trying to like steal from other people. He has an and friends at Mothership, but he's pretty much at Sunset every Thursday when he's in town. And that's a guarantee. He'll always be on a secret show if he's in town. He's always a pop-in. Which is, you never know when he's going to pop in. And sometimes he goes up early. Which, if you know his material, Holtzman going up early is, you never know how it's going to work. But he went up early the other night, dude. And that crowd was just behind him the whole time. He always asked me, how did it go out there? How did the music go? Was the crowd fine? And I was like, yeah, they like the they like the rowdy stuff. When I talked to him between, they like the dirty stuff. And he just nodded real quick and then just walked away real fast. So he was just like, then he went out there and he went straight into it and they were eating it up, bro. And he just fucking he held his foot to the gas and then waited for them not to laugh at one thing and then turned on them and just it's a beautiful thing that Holtzman does was he pushes and pushes and pushes until he gets to the point that he thinks you don't like. And then that's when you get to see Holtzman. Hell yeah. Rouse rules. We love Rouse. Is that you, Henry? So airplane food's weird. Yeah, Rouse rules. There was a time back at Vulcan, and this was when Rogan was doing all of his stuff there way before Mothership, and Adam Egget had just recently got a dog and started bringing the dog around with him, so they started keeping dog treats in this little pantry in the green room. And for a secret show one night, we were sitting up there, and Rouse was sitting next to me, and he got up and went over to the pantry, opened it up, and I saw him open the dog treats thing and take one out and close the thing and come back and just sit down and eat the dog treat right next to me. And he ate the whole thing and swallowed it and then said, "The snacks here are horrible." just fucking what? But that's Rouse. He's such a fun hang, man. He's such a fun little green room rascal. It's always fun for him to, anytime Rouse is holding his phone to show somebody something. One of my favorite things on earth is watching someone experience Jason Rouse for the first time in person. It's the snacks here are horrible. So silly. But yeah, Rouse has done a lot for a lot of like young comics, like young Canadian comedians. Like a lot of people don't know that without Jason Rouse, you don't know who Jared Nathan is. And without Jared Nathan, you don't know who Aaron Belial is. So as in some weird universe, Jason Rouse is responsible for Jared and Aaron's careers in a way. Like he's the, and I'm not saying that neither one of them got, but I mean just how it went. Jason Rouse is kind of in charge of that. But man, I always said that Jason was the Harriet Tubman of Canadian comedians. He had like an underground railroad of Canadian comics coming into Austin. And because Jason's a Canadian, he's a Canadian. He didn't know who Harriet Tubman was. So he went back and like he said, when you said that, I didn't know, but I went and I looked it up. And you're right. That's exactly it. Like I'm literally like just like sneaking in Canadian comedians and stuff. Hell yeah, Alien Canadian Tubman. But that's yeah, man, Rouse has done a lot for a lot of Canadian comics. Like he brought the Danger Cats down. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Danger Cats. Those are the guys who brought Holtzman to Canada. So like Rouse was the guy who got the hookup for Sam Walker and Uncle Hack and Brett Forte, all of those guys. And yeah, he has a pretty good podcast. I've recorded a podcast episode in that studio before, but after we talked for like an hour and a half, we got done with a really great podcast episode recording, and the guy looked down at the recorder and said, "Man, I'm sorry, but like I recorded like the first 25 seconds of our conversation and it cut off, and we've been talking for like however long and it hasn't been recorded." And I got to be honest with you, that kind of upset me. But Jason Rouse walked out, and the guy that was interviewing me was a clean-cut guy. And Rouse walked out of his bedroom, because this is at his house. He walked out of his bedroom, and it was like, "You look like a nephew that came to see your uncle in prison," sitting across the table from each other. But yeah, it was funny. It was a cool moment. And then I was like, "You coming to Secret?" I think that was a Thursday morning. And yeah, that was a really cool podcast too, because it was right after I had been on Kill. It was during the height of my like getting on Kill Tony regularly. So like I was fresh in it. So for the guys watching now, I would have been something along the lines of like a Heath Cordes, or where Heath is a pretty good example, like someone that recognizable at the show in that time period. So if that episode could have dropped, it answered a lot of Kill Tony questions and like talked about a lot of the stuff like that, and it would have been good. I hate that it's lost forever. There's a lot of other podcasts that I did out there though. It's 4:00. I've got to work at 4:00 tomorrow, so I should start winding down soon. Let's say we hit one more GB, and I think I'm going to have to call it a night because, like I said, I got to work tomorrow at 4, and I want to get at least a solid 8. Because I don't think my phone knows what the fuck it's talking about when it's guessing how much sleep I'm getting. Because this thing is literally saying, like, I'm getting 5.5 hours of sleep, but that's impossible because it's got me going to bed and waking up every single day at 1:00. And I haven't gotten out of bed at 1:00 in I don't know how long. Just haven't done it. What's up, Hans? So, I guess this week I've averaged 6 hours and 7 minutes in bed, but apparently on Thursday, I got 7 hours and 51 minutes. Well, that's cool. Anyway, please like this video. Subscribe to this channel. I'm sure that we will see you guys tomorrow night in Virtual Red Band, almost guaranteed. And if not, you might see a stream, but I've got to record the podcast tomorrow. You're making the baked beans. Let's see. If you go to my YouTube channel and let's see, live. And let's go down to Camp Provisions. Let's cook Camp Provisions. I'm going to make this easy for you and drop this link to this video right here. Boop. Done. So there, if you click that video that I just posted in the comments, please be sure to like the video. If you go to the description, the recipe is there, augmented from Marcus Olin's original recipe. Also, I posted the spaghetti recipe that I made today on my Instagram stories. 1 pound bacon, not drained. 2.5 pounds hamburger meat, not drained. 4 cans Bush's baked beans, 4 different flavors. 1 cup brown sugar. 85% of a large bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's or a full small bottle. Half of that same amount of barbecue sauce. Half of that amount of ketchup. And then just back and forth, stripe the diameter of your pot with mustard. Salt and pepper generously, and a healthy sprinkle over the diameter of the pot of garlic powder and onion powder. You can alter those seasonings as you like, but it's incredibly tasty. And if you can't find 4 different flavors of Bush's baked beans, just get whatever. But the recipe that Marcus gave me called for 4 different flavors. With the 4 Bush's cans, that's right. That's right, Tony Fathands, augmented recipe. He's the one that was like, hey, if you ever want to make spaghetti sauce, I can give you a really nice recipe for a good sauce. And he just showed me how he makes sauce. He's like, you don't have to get that jar stuff. You can make it yourself. And that's what I started doing. So I got I got all of that got all that tomato sauce. He showed me all of that. And there's still a couple of things that like I'm sure he does a couple of things differently, and it's like a family recipe or whatever, but I don't think it's a secret. And plus I've added things to it to where it's not even original recipe anymore. One thing I will say that a lot of people do that I have sort of not done in the last couple times is when I've made it, and you can do however you want, Hans. I don't know. I'd imagine if you're making camp provisions, you're probably not too concerned with how healthy it is, but I would suggest to not drain the grease from any of the meat. Leave the grease in all of the bacon and leave the grease from all of the hamburger meat, and literally just cook it for so long that the grease actually contrasts the crispiness of, like, to where you're literally deep frying all of this in its own drippings. Make sure to do that and leave the grease. But yeah, make sure to do that, because that's the secret. That's all flavor. That's flavor. Grease equals flavor, 1,000%. And if you drain the grease, it's just not going to be as flavorful as it could be. And also, don't drain the beans. Dump the whole can and dump the whole can. Don't do like Grandma used to do and dump the sauce out, and it did, like, that ain't what it's about. Leave it in there, man. Leave the grease in. And by the way, if any of y'all don't know what we're talking about and you didn't see that video, you should watch the video I linked up there in the chat. That's our from start to finish, the process of making the provisions. I got some chicken thighs that I'm gonna make tomorrow night, but that's not the kind of thing you can really stream, because I'm gonna put them on the smoker and just kind of do them slow and low. But maybe I'll need something. I got something that I could fix to hold me over until that's done. Maybe some hot dogs. I got a few hot dogs left with no buns, so I might chop up a couple hot dogs and throw it in some shells and cheese. But yes, that's the trick, and that's also one of the secrets in the spaghetti sauce, is that you just cook the meat until it is like, you might consider it burnt otherwise. Like, most people might say, oh, this is burnt. But it's not. That's how you want it. That's exactly how you want it. You want it to be so crispy, because when you add the wet ingredients in, you will have wanted your meat to have been crispier, if that makes any sense. Like, because once your wet ingredients go in, if you don't brown your meat enough, that's pretty much, it's not going to get any more consistency than that. It just becomes like chewy at that point, and that's not what you want. You want there to be you want it to be crumbly. You want it to break apart when you eat it. So definitely get that shit crispy. Like, I'm not even joking you. For the camp provisions, I believe I probably cooked that meat. I cooked the bacon first. I chopped the bacon first. And I chopped it before I cooked it, chopped it, threw it all into the pan, and just stirred it around because I wanted it to be chopped anyway. I could have made the bacon, but that would have required me to use more than one pot, and I wanted to make this all in one pot. By the way, that's the trick also, Hans. Is making it all in one pot. And because that keeps the flavor all in one place. You're not transferring things from other pans or else. It all stays in one thing. It's one cohesive unit at the end. But yeah, chopping up the bacon, getting that really, really crispy to the point to where it is deep frying in its own grease. And after that, you end up dumping your hamburger meat in, your raw hamburger meat, and that I might have cooked it, and I usually cook on medium heat. My stove gets hot as shit. It's when the only time I go above medium heat is when I'm boiling water and I need it to boil fast. So yeah, less dishes too. I'm a practical cook. I use the least amount of dishes possible for what I'm trying to do. And I can usually pull off most things I cook with a single stovetop pan, unless I decide to like, oh shit, what's up, Best Tennis? How you doing? I appreciate you. Hell yeah, Kill Tony fan rep. Shout out. That's gonna flash on the screen for everybody else in a second. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, wait a second. I got the old stream going. I thought that was a thing coming through there. I'm such an idiot. That was from the Camp Provisions. Well, homie got 2 shout outs. Yeah, I've been doing them on the smoker, but yeah, it's crispy skin is the trick to that. Just having the crispy skin going up. Then I got excited there for a second. I was like, shit, yeah. Oh well. But yes, less dishes is important. But you gotta like I literally stirred that meat, and I'm not even exaggerating, for like maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Not even joking. Like, and this was on medium heat and just consistently stirring. And I'll say, like, you'll know what I mean. And I would suggest to like try to stay on a lower heat. Like, I know if you want to cook it fast, but the things that you want to be good are worth taking your time to do. And one thing that I will suggest to keep in mind is just don't rush this. Don't rush the dish. Let it breathe. Give it its time. Don't shock the meat. Think about like, you know how you can hold your hand under your shower head as it's progressively getting warmer, and you can withstand more heat. However, if you were to just pour something that was that hot on your hand immediately, it's like, it burns you more because you haven't become accustomed to it. Like, meat that you're cooking has the same feelings about that you do. So just slowly on medium heat, slowly crisp up the shit, and literally take an hour to do just the meat, and let that shit crisp up. And then whenever you've gotten to where when you stir it, it's on medium heat now. Whenever you stir it, it's loud. The loud popping sound when you go to stir it of the grease that is just dropping back down to the bottom. That loud hiss that you hear, I'd go about 10-15 minutes after that. after you start hearing that sound, like seriously, you want this thing to almost be crumbly. Like go further than you think you should go. This is also important for the spaghetti stuff. But anything you're going to be adding wet ingredients to a pre-browned meat, like the way that Hamburger Helper suggests that you do it, Hamburger Helper is 1,000 times better if instead of just waiting until the meat is browned, like you just go all the way and like almost cook all of the grease out of it in a way to where the grease is then soaked back into the meat, so all the flavor is back in with itself. I told you guys I'm so fat. Things I'm passionate about, food. Like top tier things I'm passionate about. But if you do that with your meat, do it for like with the spaghetti, I went probably about 30 to 45 minutes with the meat, but I went about an hour and 15 because I had all that bacon grease in there as well, and I was just really trying to get a nice crisp crunch on the bacon and the hamburger meat simultaneously, which is one of the downfalls of chopping it versus cooking the bacon and then crumbling it in. But I still prefer the way that I did it. I would like to learn how to do Polynesian or like any sort of Asian cuisine. Like that's like a Mongolian beef or something like that. One of my roommates used to make that, but it's so fucking good, man. I'd like to get better at cooking that sort of a thing. I'm gonna have to smoke again because we started talking about food and I got distracted and I was gonna end this thing, but now I can't because I'm having fat thoughts that I just have to get out. But pack something up with me, y'all. Brown sugar is also necessary in the baked beans. And I will say I used a cup of brown sugar and it came out like sweet. I would almost say that you could drop the amount of brown sugar to like maybe 3/4 of a cup. Jamisha gets it. What's up, Jamisha? Hell yeah. Jamisha is an incredible chef. But yeah, like I would drop the amount of brown sugar just because with the barbecue sauce being sweet already, it's unless you decide to use like a milder barbecue sauce, like not sweet, like more savory, more vinegar-based barbecue sauce, drop a liquid smoke wouldn't be a bad idea. But yeah, just the brown sugar helps a lot. And one thing that I did was I added the brown sugar before I added everything else. I added the brown sugar on top of the beef and bacon. So we got beef, bacon, brown sugar. We're sticking with the bees. And I added the brown sugar to the beef and the bacon and then stirred that in. And then I could just see like, you know, you see the sugar start to melt in the pot and it's just so nice. It's really makes the onions. You know, I got to be honest. I don't think I put any onions in. Did I? Did I put onions in there? Yeah, I don't think I put onions in. But I think I should have put onions in there. So yeah, if you like onions, definitely do that too and saute that in. You could honestly, whenever your bacon is comfortably crispy and you've already added your hamburger meat, whenever your hamburger meat gets to the point Oh, I forgot onions and went with the powder. That's what I did, Resident. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm glad that you remember better than I do because I obviously smoke a bunch. But so I would say that to that recipe, to that amount, I'd think one large onion would like a minced one large onion minced would be good in that. And you can add that onion to the hamburger meat and the bacon when the hamburger meat gets to the point that you would normally like when all of the pink is gone in the meat, but you're still going to be cooking it for so much longer. That's when I would add the onions. So that would be a pretty good. I think that would end up being a pretty good outcome. And then you'll add your brown sugar to all of that at the end, and then your beans, all 4 cans of beans all at once. And I don't really like to season at the beginning, but whenever I add the hamburger meat and it gets to a certain point and I'm trying to like soak up more of the grease, I might season at that point. And sometimes when I don't forget the onions, I still go with onion powder. I know that it's crazy, but like I put onions in my spaghetti the other day. But like I put a good bit of onions in the spaghetti, but I still hit it with the onion powder. It just, I don't know. I think it just gives it a little more oomph. A little more oomph. Oh shit. But yeah, man. That's just it's really nice to have that, and it's good for like 3 to 4 days. I literally ate for 3 or 4 days off of that shit. The last time I cooked it. Jamisha gets it. Not this one. But I like the flavor of the meat to do its thing first. I like the flavor of the actual beef and the bacon to do its thing, and then I'll give it the salt and the pepper. And I do salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder on pretty much everything I cook. But to be honest, that's pretty much it, that's the basics. Like if you only could have 4 things, like 4 seasons to cook forever, those are the ones you gotta have. So, yeah, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. That goes on everything I make. Adding mayo doesn't count. I don't know. Who knows? But yes, after all that goes in together and you're stirring all that shit in, and at this point, it's not done. You're going to want to keep this thing on low for a while because after that, you got to add your barbecue sauce. The rest of your wet ingredients, you got to add your barbecue sauce and like pretty much a whole small bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's, or like 3/4 of a bottle of 3/4 more or less of a big bottle. It's once you get that in there, and then you drop just a just about half that same amount of ketchup. And then I like to throw a little mustard on top just because I like mustard. It cuts nicely. And after you get all that shit stirred together, that's when you can take a spoonful, you can you can mix it well. Mix it well so that you can no longer see it's all one cohesive color. You can't pick out the barbecue sauce, the ketchup, or the mustard. It's all one cohesive color. Take a taste of it, and that's where you alter your seasonings, add, take away. If it's too sweet, throw some salt in there. Too much salt, throw a little bit more sugar in, which definitely won't be the problem because you've got ketchup, barbecue sauce, and brown sugar. This thing being sweet isn't going to be the issue, so it is probably going to need more salt. And at that point, that's when you just start altering how much salt you add to cut your, or honestly seasonings altogether, just not just salt, but like I go a little heavy on the pepper, and I use fresh cracked black pepper, so I have to crank a lot because it's nice. But you'll also get a couple of bites every now and again where you'll get one of those big chunks of pepper, and you get that nice, the nice spice that comes from that. So yeah, that's good. But you're gonna enjoy that. I wanna see. You should film a little bit of it and post it out there for us to see. Or take some pictures of it and put them out there, and so we can look at them on the stream, so we can see. Make it like a little cooking club thing, and then someone else could also do it and post their stuff. It's really good camp provisions. It might not be for everybody, but I'm here to tell you that I really dug it. It turned out pretty good. I'm going to hit one more GB, but then we're going to get out of here because it is 4:30 now, and I've gone about a half hour longer than I was gonna. But I still got enough time to get enough sleep to get to work tomorrow. We've got 3 shows, and I'm on one of them. I am on the East Coast takeover. Hell yeah, roadkill. Let's do it. And guys, anything you want to do to like alter that at all, like a recipe is nothing more than a loose suggestion on how to do things. You're going to be changing it. Nobody makes things exactly the way someone else does. When I first started cooking, I was following every single recipe to the exact T. And the only time that you really want to do that is when you're baking things. When you're baking things, measurements need to be exact. For the most part, unless those things that you're baking are biscuits. And in that case, all you need there is a big old bowl of flour, half a gallon jug of buttermilk, and a tin of Crisco. And to that, you just get you a scoop of Crisco that goes about that far from your hand and about halfway up your hand right here, just your first 4 fingers, a nice little scoop of Crisco. You put that in with your flour, and you crisp it all up. And you crunch it all up until you get little itty-bitty pea-sized balls of flour and Crisco, little pea-sized. And once you have no more flour left and all you have are those little pea-sized balls, you add Crisco until you get to that consistency where all the flour is those little pea-sized things. That's when you add your buttermilk little by little. until you get to a consistency that looks like biscuit dough. And that's how you make biscuits. That's it. When you get them made out, you roll your biscuit dough out on your counter. Take you a beer glass and cut your biscuits out with a beer glass if you ain't got nothing else. Make sure to flour the lip of the beer glass so that it doesn't stick to the thing. And then if you want, when you get them all separated out in your pan, you can melt you a little butter. You can melt you a little butter and dip your little brush in the butter and brush the tops of the biscuits with the butter before you put it in, if you want. Or you can pull the biscuits halfway through baking and do that. But that's it. Biscuits are easy. You are the thing. You are baking. Oh, yeah. Dill isn't a bad thing. I used to like the old dill sauce that you dip tater chips in. You dipping tater chips in dill sauce. All right, guys, it is officially 4:30. Let's put a bow on this thing. Guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Please make sure the notification bell is clicked as well so that you'll be notified when we post a new video or go live in moments like this. Please become a member if you'd like. I post a lot of cool stuff there, behind the scenes videos and all kinds of cool stuff that you don't get to see otherwise. And I believe we will be going live. We will definitely be going live Sunday. And if for some reason we don't do a virtual red band tomorrow night, I might go live, but I will be doing the podcast recording, so maybe we'll see. That being said, throw on one of the videos. I just put a video in a link. If you guys want to watch me make camp provisions and such, watch that video. And if you like it, drop a super thanks in there for us. Or if you watch any of our old videos, please do that. The top link in the description works all the time, even when we're not live. That being said, roll Tide, guys. Good to see you, Hans, Jason, Pooter, Roadkill, Jade, B&B, Alien. Who else is in here? Jamisha, the great and powerful Jamisha Albo. Good to see you guys. I know there was a lot more people. I know Shane was in here earlier, and I know I'm missing a lot more, but sorry about that. Roll Tide, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow, one way or the other. Night-night. Be good people.
Music